game prep kind of stuff. I've got a game coming up on Thursday, so I thought I've just got some random stuff that I need to kind of put together. Just some simple terrain that I've kind of painted and sculpted and crafted, and nothing channel worthy. I mean, it's just rocks and stuff. Some of the stuff I've done in the past on the channel. So I am painting up some stuff. So I thought I'd just turn on the camera, and if there's any questions about what they're for, or I might just mutter to myself about their use in the game, and help just like, I don't know, like muttering to myself sometimes is good about, you know, working out those ideas as a GM, like what kind of story implications there are for things that can happen in the game. But if you want to just cruise along, have a look, by all means, drop something in the chat if you have any questions about what I'm doing. So I'm just going to start by switching to the next camera. Here we go. I've got, this is my hand cam here, and we go a little side by side, so you can see my handsome face as I paint these kind of things side by side. So at the moment, I've got this dinner plate kind of looking here. It's kind of a mixture of, what we got, like a foam core board on the base of it, and I've got some foam that's been used underneath, like packing foam, and just the what do you call it, the sculptor mold to sculpt over some of the rocks and stuff. I'm just kind of mid doing a whole Mod Podge layer on this thing. If you're curious to see that technique in action, I've got a video on the channel, which is the most recent one, which is the ice caverns, which is quite good. It's an Atmoseeker on YouTube. So at the moment, I'm kind of midway through in the first coat in this thing, and here we go. We're just gonna get going on this thing. Let's see. So I've got this Mod Podge kind of thinned out with a little bit of water, just to help it kind of fill into those cracks a bit better. This music is starting to get a little bit ominous. If you don't like the music, I can always turn it off. I can change it to something else. I am trying to use kind of like royalty-free kind of stuff as well. So this is, I think we're listening to some Kevin MacLeod. He is pervasive on the channel. I use quite a few from his royalty-free music website. It is getting a little bit ominous, kind of like I'm a crazy person painting this weird thing. But there's some nice detail here if I get it close to the camera. It's kind of hard to tell when it's kind of monochrome like this. When I'll start like dry brushing stuff or getting some of the matte paint on there, that'll help it. But yeah, so I've got this kind of circular area here. So the idea behind this piece is that I actually am going to change up the music. This is getting a little. Let's chill out a bit more. That's not too bad. That's a little bit more chill. This one is Harris Heller. He is a stream doctor, if you will. He has a lot of free music used for streaming music, and yeah, he's got stream beats on Spotify. Pretty easy to find. He's got some good tracks that you can listen to. Alright, so I'm just getting this guy on. I've got a few random crafts I'm kind of working on. This one in particular is for, we left the session in kind of a, well, the story goes, right, that this whole campaign has been set, the whole campaign actually started with, what do you call it, the Lost Mines of Phandelver. That was the first campaign I ran with this group, and basically after that one was kind of finished, we went into the Horde of the Dragon Queen game, and long story short, there were some things that kind of happened where there was some mages looking for shortcuts to bring Tiamat back, and they got intertwined into some teleportation method, and they got sucked into a random dimension. I had a random dimension on hand for all the kind of different planes that they could have gone to. It could very have easily turned into like Avernus or something, or a Hell campaign, but now, for the last 2 sessions, they've been in the Shadowfell, which has been quite gloomy, quite hard, as I would guess, as a PC character, because a lot of the monsters there, I have been using a lot of monsters from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. That's been quite interesting, but a lot of the monsters have been very deadly. Like, a lot of the effects are, it reduces your hit point maximum, and the poor bard that's in there, he has been limping around on like maximum 1 HP for quite a while. They did manage to find a rest in some caves, which was, you can find some areas that kind of, you have to make some strange allies for sure. So they managed to get a rest and get some of those hit points back, but there have been, basically the story went that they encountered some lost souls that had expired on the previous adventure. So dead characters coming back, but also missing characters from some of the characters past. One of the characters' father, who has had their memory missing and taken by the Raven Queen. So that's kind of where the adventure has led up. It's led up to the party now going into the Fortress of Memories, which I don't know if anyone out there has more insight into the Fortress of Memories. It's all just kind of been what I've been able to glean from what is in the Dungeon Master's Guide and what kind of YouTube analyses of the Shadowfell are, but it's been an interesting read, and you're trying to kind of like get an idea of like the place from like the monsters and stuff. So a very dark place, but now they're in the Fortress of Memories, and it's, I'm just gonna turn down this music bit. Now it's too upbeat. Now I'm talking about Fortress of Memories and stuff, and this is okay. That's a bit more chill. There we go. Yeah, so now they're in the Fortress of Memories. So there's not a lot of information to find about it. Even in the Dungeon Master's Guide, there's just basically a couple of pages. They mention the Fortress of Memories and the Raven Queen, but a lot of it has just been kind of taking what's out there and interpreting it in a way that kind of fits the world, but kind of just jives with my style of DMing. I think I tend to lean a bit more towards horror quite a bit. I think it's one of those, maybe it's the tellings of a bad DM, where it's like easy to do that. Fear is one of the most easily accessible emotions, but it's one of those feel like I love Halloween, so like being able to get those feelings of horror and just like it's easy because you gotta have like you gotta, especially if you use like heartbeats or like that ominous music, or just even silence can be quite pervasive if you have the right vibe in there. Anyway, there's been a lot of talking, and I haven't actually said what the hell I'm painting. So this is so in the first room of the Fortress of Memories that I've planned and put together, it's been this large open lake, and in the middle they found this dais, kind of like island, this rock island, what I have here, and at the top is a large basin with a little skull cup, and they have to drink from it. One of them has to drink from it to, I don't know, get further into the dungeon. And that stirs something in the water, and the water's quite bad around there, but basically it's that bit from Harry Potter where they go to get one of the Horcruxes. That's right, stolen completely from Harry Potter, but you know what? It's a fucking cool scene, and I think I just had that vibe to experience that with my players. So one of them is going to be stuck drinking from this basin of questionable water, and where I've got these creatures climbing out of it. Let me see if I can just muscle up one of the creatures. Had them all 3D printed here. It's been printing quite a bit. These guys are primed, so we'll just see if I can pull out a few of these. I got a whole box of the stuff. Let's see. I can pull out the box. So we got, wow, that's bleached to all hell. Let me see if I can turn down that light a bit. There we go. So we got, I forget what these, I think these are by Bysterium Miniatures. I could be wrong, apologies if I am. These are called Dretches. So I got a whole box of them here. Some of them are a couple of different poses. Let's see if I can get that thing to focus on them. Yeah, so these guys are gonna come out of the water. Come on, focus for me, pal. Maybe it's like a set focus, autofocus. It's focusing on my hands. So if you wanted to see my hands, great. But these guys, so I think there's 3 different poses. One of them definitely prints a lot better. There was one pose in particular that kept failing on me. Let me see if I can find him. So this guy, he kept failing because I don't think there were enough supports on that arm. Or some difference in my printer to the guy who's crafting these guys. So this guy was before all of my adding some extra supports. That arm just didn't come through. It's a little bit of a weird pose on this one. I like the other ones because they kind of balance themselves. I often don't like putting bases on things. But this guy, I'm definitely going to have to put a base on him. So basically these guys are going to be coming out of the water while one of them's like drinking this poison thing, and they're going to be like fending it off. And I've got this boat that I made today, which is, well, they had to get to this island somehow. So this is kind of like a gondola kind of thing. In the game, it's made of like skeletons and bones and stuff, but for just the, you know, on hand to kind of have this small boat, you know, available for other games. I thought I'd just go wood. Did I cop out on that? Should I have made a skeleton boat? Definitely. Like, but how often am I going to use a skeleton boat? I don't know. If you're curious how I made it, it is EVA foam. The few of the things on the channel are EVA foam. We've got hello RFD Hobby. Oh yes, definitely Half-Blood Prince. This is the Horcrux scene in this fortress of memories that we've got going here. So we're gonna have, let's see, we got the boat coming up here. We're gonna have these guys coming out of the water. We got loads of these guys. We're gonna have, let's see, we got oodles of them, and it's so I'll be painting these guys up. Probably not tonight. I'm thinking of just like I'm not a master painter by any means. I just kind of know how to throw paint on the model just to make it serviceable for the table, that it doesn't look too rubbish. But like, I'm thinking just some. I'm going to do the whole thing green or something. Let's see if I can get a better shot at that. I'm probably going to do the whole thing green, a yellowish kind of thing, and then like overbrush them with like blacks and grays, so kind of like he has those cracks or pustules or something underneath him. So there's gonna be a lot of these guys. So once they get through the here, when they drink all the water, there's gonna be a portal, or there's gonna be a ladder that goes underneath, and that's when they're gonna go into the winding halls down there. And that's going to be like a maze of different just like winding rooms and stuff. I'm going to use Dungeon Craft, Professor Dungeon Master's method for mazes. He had a great episode about the Minotaur maze, where he basically broke it down, the feeling of a maze that was... he broke it up into like 6 locations, and the disorientation kind of was illustrated in a way that through, I think they made like wisdom checks or something. Hello, yes, love, create the world, welcome, create the world. Midnophobia, RVFD hobby. Welcome to the channel. This is first live stream, and I don't know what I'm doing, so let me know what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. I'm just painting and crafting stuff for a game on Thursday, so thought I'd just throw it up here. If you have any questions about other stuff, or if you're just happy to hear me rambling about stuff I'm doing for the game, or any kind of any of the lighting and atmospheric stuff that I do, feel free to ask any questions. I'm just gonna hit back to painting this guy. So this is the dais kind of thing they're painting. I think I've got a first coat on this guy. He's kind of looking all right. So that's all just sculpt to mold and stuff. I think it'll really kind of pop out once we start painting it. I'm gonna let this first coat just I'm just gonna stipple this so you can see those brush marks. I'm just gonna let this dry. This first coat's dry. So I got a few crafts going on tonight. I'm gonna just put that aside, and I might just start painting up this guy. Actually, you know what? I've got something sitting in the printer that I need to pop out, so may as well pop that out. Hang tight for 2 seconds, and I'll bring the build plate out here and I'll pop them off. Let's get a glove up here. Don't want to touch this resin. Get all... I don't know what happens if you touch the resin. Get all sick or something. I'm just gonna hide behind this thing. I'll get these out here. Let's see what we got here. We're putting something big. I need some paper towel. Oh. Look, to be honest, I wasn't expecting anybody to pop into the stream. I was honestly just practicing. So yeah, like for people to be here actually watching me do stuff, that's, I don't know what to say, but thank you. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm just having a little fun making some stuff for just the game that's coming up. You know what? I'm not a great YouTuber because I don't put out videos very often. But when I do try to focus on is just, I love the, filming of everything and editing and all this, effects and stuff that you can put in afterwards. So that's something I've been kind of focused on for quite a bit, and just kind of balancing with like dad life, I guess. Kids are on holidays at the moment, so it's kind of harder to find some of those like quiet moments to focus on the channel. But I just like this stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It is definitely evening in Australia. It is 11 p.m. This is when all the kids and families are asleep, and this is when I can do my crazy painting stuff and just get high on all the chemicals in here. And just love breathing it in. Speaking of which, let's make the way for some, what is this? The 100% proof isopropyl. Let's breathe in these bad boys. Should I have a mask? I don't know. It's, you know, I had a mask at the start while doing this stuff, and then it's like, now it doesn't really affect me that much. So maybe I'm just, it's that now I just get kind of half drunk on this stuff. I'll open one at a time just so it's not a big birth of this kind of stuff. Let's see, what do we got coming off the printer? I think I've got some stuff here from Rocket Pig Games. What I've got, we've got, oh, he's kind of ooky looking at the moment because I haven't pulled him off the plate yet. But this is a good-looking grave giant here. I don't have a huge build plate for this. I'm on the Anycubic Photon S, and so I'm printing 3 of these guys. So I figure what I can't make up for in size, printing, like I probably could break them up into different chunks and print that out. But heck, you know what? I'm just gonna have more of them because that's gonna look cool on the board. I'm gonna have the fog rolling in. I'm gonna have 3 of these grave giants. Let's see. We're just gonna carefully ease this off. I'm just gonna. Oh no, I'm running out of space here. I'm just gonna push this guy while he's drying. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Oh, thanks, man. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they are on holidays at the moment. So it is just trying to find time. I actually did a lot of crafting with my little one, Riley. He's 2 years old. He kind of sat next to me during the day while I made some of this stuff, and he was surprisingly into it. Just liked. He kind of just played with the monsters and stuff that's behind me on the shelf. Made a good mess of things, but you know, I was happy they just kind of glue away as I was making this boat. I'm gonna get this guy off. It's just proof of strength. Just let's get this guy off. Come on. Yeah, that's the problem here. He's got such a look at that. He's got such a so wide surface now. The suction underneath that thing. Oh boy, it's gonna be unbelievable. I'm just gonna. I think I've got an angle now. There we go. Just go. Oh yeah. I love these Rocket Pig game ones. I think it's Rocket Pig Games because they are completely support free. I love that it just kind of comes out there. Just yeah, like when I started 3D printing, I wasn't sure about, do I put supports in this thing? Where do I put supports? Now it's all about like knowing where like islands are and you know, like I find myself putting supports for supports a lot. I'm just gonna give this guy a little wash. And maybe I overkill sometimes with supports. I don't trust supports a lot. So, would you reckon bigger supports, like medium supports, heavy supports, but you get those more like pinprick kind of stuff, those little nipple holes. You don't have nipples all over this giant. Oh boy, you only want the nipples where they count. No, definitely not. This guy's looking pretty clean. And if you didn't notice, there's a little stowaway on this build plate. We got another little guy. What is he? What's this little guy? This tiny guy. He is. It's like a little. Can you tell from this angle? Can I get a little close up on him? There we go. This guy, if you can't tell him, he's got like little hooks for hands. He's a Stitch Golem. I think he's also from Rocket Pig Games, and he is an NPC that they're going to find in the Winding Halls. He's going to be like a weird construct thing, because there's going to be this weird like time dilation stuff where he'll be older or younger, or just more. His personality will change depending where they are in the halls. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to use him, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and maybe I'll just kind of keep him in my back pocket if we need some relief, because it can get quite heavy in the Shadowfell where they are. So any kind of like comic relief is quite. He was going to be like a Cockney kind of. How's he going to talk? I've been around these halls for quite some time. What? He's going to kind of talk like that. I think that was the plan. I don't know. I got to give him some kind of like character flaw. I am definitely looking forward to retirement. I mean, I think I've got retirement planned. I've got to have all the crafting stuff. I don't know what my wife's gonna do. I think she's a bit jealous that I have retirement already planned. I'm gonna be painting miniatures. As long as I don't get like severe arthritis or something, I'll be pretty happy in retirement, I think. But that's gonna be way off. Ways and ways. Years and years. But, well, I don't know. Make whatever. I don't know. Atmoseeker dollar just starts going up. Oh boy, yeah. You know, my feelings with the channel is that it is just a hobby, creative space for me to experiment, play with new ideas, and talk about what's kind of passionate for me when running games. And I'm all about the atmospheric stuff. So hopefully it has been. What little videos I have put out there have been kind of useful to those running games. By all means, all that stuff's not 100% necessary. Like, you can run a game with just a Dungeon Master's Guide and a DM screen and some dice. But I love the extra stuff. Yeah, I love all the, like the fog, having the right sound, like, maybe not sound effects. I kind of leaned off the sound effects because it got a bit cheesy, like, you open the door. But, oh, hello, Poland. How you doing? But definitely have, like, the ambience that adds a lot, I think. Even if you were going to do one or the other, having the right ambience for the location, like, you want to be in a swamp, you want to have those creatures and stuff that kind of set that environment mood. Yeah, totally got to have that. Alright, this guy's got to be clean. Let's let that alcohol dry up. You know, why have a glass of whiskey when you just open a couple of containers of these and just breathe it in, just ease it through your pores. Oh, that's right. It's just a little bit of social lubricant in these cans, but it's enough to get the job done. Alright, so we got these guys cleaned, fresh off the plate. If you want to have another look at the Grave Giant here, for another close-up, I'm getting some good bloom off this camera. A little brighter. Okay. Yeah, he's got. I love the. So the plan is these guys are gonna like come out of the ground, and we've got like the. I kind of like looked at this monster, and I was like, all right, he's gotta be like pulling corpses out of his back and just like throwing them at the party. I think maybe they explode. Sure. Maybe like a 1 to 3 on a D6 they explode, or something. And do you DM for your games then? I definitely do. I've got 2 games going at the moment, 2 campaigns. I've got Horde of the Dragon Queen game at the moment, and Dragon of Icespire Peak with a couple of friends, and that's been going pretty well. We've just been doing a small party of 2 people for the Dragon of Ice game with some of the sidekick system that they have, which has worked pretty well. I'm just going to let these guys dry, and once they're dry, I'll pop them in the curer. You can see my MacGyvered, just obscure, curing machine I've devised. It's made from a box and stuff. Stay tuned and you'll see it. Alright, let's get all this alcohol out of the way. Let's chuck this build plate back on. Make sure the resin is topped off before I check out of here. And I'm gonna hit print on something. Maybe probably another grave giant. I want at least 3 of these babies. Alright, just gonna pop this back. Alright, so what do we got? We've got, alright, so we've got this guy, his first coat. That's looking pretty good. We could probably chuck another coat on this. Hello, brother. Hello, Lucas. Coming in. And I think, yeah, it's all, it's a bit wet there. I'll wait a little bit longer for this guy before I do another coat. Maybe time to do a little extra on this boat. Sculpted there. This guy is completely made of EVA foam. It is, what do we got? I have this foam, which was kind of cut into the rough shape of it. And then for the kind of planks and detail of it, where would I have it? Don't have it on hand at the moment, but it's basically, you can buy it from craft stores. It is like a thin, what do you call it? Like, it's just like it's the same EVA foam, but it's like in thin sheets, and you could just cut that into just whatever strips and stuff that you want. Just kind of scored it a little bit with some of the what do you call it? A little scalpel knife thing, just for some extra detail. Give a couple of coats of the Mod Podge, and that's, you could throw this around too. It's pretty, it's pretty durable. I've got another boat that I've made in this style as well. I needed a smaller one for this encounter, but if we're talking boats here, like let's show boats. This is the boat show now. What do we got? We've got this is kind of made in a similar way. It is a little bigger than this guy. So this is the same EVA foam. Like you can see, if I push on some of this stuff, it's all bendy, flexible. It's all EVA foam except for maybe this stick here, this raft. That's like a chopstick kind of thing with some twine and stuff. And that's, I think, like for planks of wood and stuff, I have been loving using the EVA foam. It has been great for, like, you can see even like the scored detail along there. And if that, I can take the goggles off now. I'm not working with chemicals anymore. I wear the goggles to look cool. But these, the painting detail comes up nice because of the score marks from the cutting. And if you like that boat, let's show let's see. We got book behind me. You probably can't even see it on the show sometimes because it's up in the shadows. This one's been, I made this guy when I was doing some what do you call it? Salt Marsh. The Salt Marsh campaign. We did a couple of one-shots. And so what do we got here? We've got that boat. We're going to paint this boat in a second. And we've got the giant boat. Can't even fit it on camera. Can I show it in this view? Alright, so here, this guy is huge. It's got a detachable sail for transportability. click that guy in. And this guy is mostly made from EVA foam, I guess. I've got like a styrofoam kind of inside just for the bulk of it, like some of that denser packing foam, but over the top of it, same method of EVA foam strips. And man, I've just almost poked myself in the eye with this thing. We got, yeah, you can see it there. Some EVA foam strips. I've got, these aren't EVA foam, these are like, what do you call it? Cocktails, coffee stirrers. That's the one, coffee stirrers. These were EVA foam though, because I wanted that bend in there, and that was all a good way of doing it. So there's some good detail in this piece. Don't mind that. I still use this. It's hard working out a real proper size for these things, because the other thing is, like, this was for a work game, so I had to travel on the train holding this thing, plus a whole bunch of other stuff that I needed for the game. And because I'm a crazy Atmoseeker atmosphere guy, I also had lots of large scale props that I was traveling. I had even a shark that I had strung up. I had fishing nets and stuff, and that was a fun adventure. It was a 3-parter, level 10 adventure that we kind of based off some of the salt marsh stuff. That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna pop this boat back up there, because he's starting to take up all my painting space. I'm gonna use this guy as a guide though. I'm gonna have him here. I'm gonna paint the little boat. Alright, how's the grave giant though go down now? That feels pretty dry. Yeah, alright, he's dry. I am going to just pop him in the curer. Like I said earlier, we got a whole curing machine here. Oh boy, are you in for a treat? Let's see what I got. Hang on, it's around the corner here somewhere. Oh, I've got the other grave giant sitting in here. Oh, you know what? I've got the other failed print of the grave giant sitting there. I thought I'd cure it anyway, just because, you know, I don't know. Might have to do a video at some point of like what to do with all your failed prints, you know? I don't know. At the moment, I'm thinking maybe some kind of hodgepodge monster of some kind. Maybe. That guy's plugged in. Pull this in. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna pop this guy in the curer. Ooh. And the curer is, I bought one of these lights off Amazon. It is a UV light. Let me just, if you want to feel its rays. Whoa, there you go. Get a little tan here while you can. It's hard to get a tan whilst you're in the dungeon, so handy for that. But the box that it came in, I thought, hey, I'll use that for part of it. Fill it with foil, and I'll chuck these guys in here. And turn this baby on. Give it a little cook. A few minutes later, you got yourself a fresh, delicious cave giant, ready to eat. No mess, no fuss. You can see I'll show you the failed print in a sec. This guy came off I haven't changed the PWS file, so I'm going to have multiples of these guys 3D printed. Maybe a giveaway. I don't know. I don't know how to do giveaways. But, you know, I'll hold on to them until I feel like I know how to do giveaways. So, that'll be fun. But here's the failed print of the grave giant. Oh boy. You know, I guess for, how many points? What happened here? You know? There's no supports on this thing, so what happened? You know, there was a real slip up on my part. This was not enough resin in the vat. I think I printed one of these guys and did not pour enough in there. So only half of them came out, but I hate having to peel off the little thin slithers of cured resin off the screen. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But will I use them for anything else? I don't know. There's only half of them. If you have any ideas, let me know. I've got a whole slew of other body parts. Failed Dretch Prince. The Dretch Prince. I've got a judge over there. He's quite a tall gentleman. He's got missing hands. Maybe I don't know. Something. Any ideas? Let me know. Alright. How's this guy going? This guy is... Still got some wet in here. It must be like just a little valley of dampness in here. Beware. I could paint it again. I'm gonna leave it. Just put it aside. Let's get painting on this guy. Alright, what are we gonna start with? I'm just gonna look at this previous model that I've done. It's just kind of a base. Looks like I've done a base of... I'm gonna guess burnt umber, because I use burnt umber for everything. Spoilers. And it looks like there is a grey on top there, and I'm gonna guess a raw sienna. So it's gonna. It looks like burnt umber, raw sienna, and then a grey to kind of age it a bit. I think I will age it a bit. Maybe I'll add a little bit of extra green on it too, just to kind of mildew it up a bit. Alright, I'm going to grab a couple of paints, and I'll be back in a second. Literally, I am not going to be gone long, because the paints are right over there. So hang tight for a second while I grab some paints. Alright, what do we got? Burnt umber. None of those. Well, that's burnt umber. That's gonna be matte as shit too. That's one of those real matte paints. The real ones, not that satin bullshit. There we go. Burnt umber. I think if you want to go for like a newer looking timber, you go for more of a raw burnt sienna. But I want this to look pretty aged, so I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm just gonna go the raw sienna there for a dry brush. I want to age it some more. Only put a bit of green on there. No, I'll use a different green. Let's see. What do we got in this one? We've got... Oh, there we go. That's a cafe mocha. That sounds delicious. We'll paint this with burnt umber or cafe mocha. They look quite similar. Cafe mocha is probably a bit brighter. I think this does come up pretty dark. Well, it's easy to go lighter, so maybe I'll start with this. I'll keep that handy though. Maybe a tan for a dry brush before the grey. What do we got? Amish grey. Alright, keep the Amish grey. We got burnt sienna, and raw sienna. Okay, I need some brushes. I think I mentioned green. That looks like a good pukey green. So I could stipple that on in some points for like some kind of mildew kind of thing. Sounds pretty cool. Alright. Alright, so need some brush. Let's get a brush. Big brush. Little brush. Detail brush? No. Wide brush. Small brush. And a palette. Palette of some kind. There you go. That was a brush. Alright. Alright. start painting up this boat. Gotta make some room though. Oh boy. Alright, let's see. I got my hot glue gun here. Keeping hot. I think I was hopeful I was gonna craft something else as well. I haven't mentioned exactly what that is, but it is, I guess I could show it. I'm kind of working on it, so at the moment this is kind of boring because I'm getting ready to get painting. I'm not even ready to paint yet. Let's just show the other project I'm working on. This is a related to the fog episode. For the I had those fog corners for to kind of containing the fog. Since this is going to be an on the road kind of thing where I have limited space, it's going to be a small dining table. I'm just making a smaller fog board, which I'm going to pump the fog onto for this encounter with the dretches on this Deus Island kind of thing. When they're kind of coming out of the fog. It's going to be pretty cool. And I'm going to use one of those ripple wave lights to kind of give that illusion of water as well. So it's going to be quite a simple setup. I'm just going to have this one piece of terrain, the boat, and just some of these miniatures of these dretches. Let me just grab the board I'm working on. Alright. It's a little big, so I wouldn't go with this on the train. But driving to someone's house, sure. So this, at the moment it's blue. Yeah, it's just like this. At the moment it's blue because it used to be a water board for one of those rotating game tables. But, you know, strange story, you can't fit that giant boat on this. It doesn't fit. So, can't really use it for water encounters. But I've repurposed it. Put a wall around this thing. Put a hole in the far side there where the smoke's going to come through. I think I'm going to detail this a bit more. Maybe make it look a little nicer, because at the moment you can just see that there's just that grill foam pattern on the other side. I might just make that, maybe put some extra foam on the sides, cut it to make it look, and paint it in a way to make it look like wood. Maybe a nice little edge over the top there. And so the fog will pump into here. Tested it today, and it'll sit in this small play area. So it's a good. This will fit easy on a dining table. You know, good shade. I mean, you could carry this around too. It's not like, I had thought about like making them separatable, like in halves and stuff. But once you do that, you can see those seams and stuff. So I'm going to paint this all kind of like completely black. And if I want to change locations and scenes, I have another little disc here, if you can see that. It's like a forest kind of disc. Just pop that in there. Whoa, like a little forest, little place you can fill with fog when you're on the road. It goes great with some of these, you know, with these swamp trees and stuff. I've got better trees for this actually. I've got like forest-like trees. These trees are better. And these will be good. So yeah, you could throw a whole bunch of stuff on the table with this. So yeah, the idea was just a smaller footprint kind of fog board that I could use for the game. So because I have to be kind of portable for this game. So yeah, I might do a video of the kind of stuff that I bring on the road for Atmosphere. So the kind of tools and lighting and atmospheric tools that I use for on the road games. So yeah, stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe for sure if you want to see something like that in the future. All right, let's paint this boat. We're gonna paint this boat. Sure, let's paint this boat. And we're gonna probably in all that time about talking about things, we could give this another coat of Mod Podge. It's still wet though. I'm gonna leave that. I can come back to that later. Probably give it a little recoat before Betty buys. All right. Let's see. Let's switch to camera 3. Okay. So A little EVA foam boat, a little boaty boo. That's looking okay. Let's see. And I'm gonna start with the burnt umber. Just start glazing this thing. I am not a master painter, but I know brown, and this is the brown to go. Burnt umber. I've used it on anything wood, for sure. If Atmoseeker could give a thumbs up to any color for wood, it would be burnt umber as a base. I wouldn't use it for the whole thing, but you know, to start as your base color, for sure. Am I starting with a too small brush? I'm just gonna slop it on there. Ugh, look at that. Makes some miniature painters cringe with the amount of paint I'm slopping all over this thing. You know, I want some good coverage of this thing. I want to get it all in there. You know what? Probably in hindsight, I probably could have mixed this color with the Mod Podge before as the priming base. Then I wouldn't have to do this. See, those are the kind of things you got to think as a dad. You know, to maximize your painting crafting time. Things to cut things in half. You gotta. You mix and match some things that you gotta do. I try to keep mindful of the brush strokes, because I want that to have that wood feel. So I think especially with this kind of foam, yeah, it's subtle. Sometimes it comes through a little bit more subtle than others, but you know, there is that underlying texture based off the brush strokes. So that's good to kind of keep in mind. Look, I don't know 100% if it's gonna have any effect on this, but you know, I got that feeling and it hasn't let me down so far. So I am just gonna keep hitting it with this brown. Look at that. It's already starting to look more like a boat. I mean, I'm liking it. Sure, I've gone something a bit bolder. Like, maybe it was because it's meant to, I mean, for the dragon, for the for the Fortress of Memories, Raven Queen kind of stuff, maybe I should have gone something like an ivory wood or something. I don't know. I kind of wanted to blend with some of the existing boat stuff I have. So, maybe Seb, you're alright. It is good to keep it consistent. Alright. I mean, this is going on pretty easy with the Mod Podge on there. It's all night, and I did. There's a step between putting the EVA foam on and the Mod Podge. You have to give it a blast with the heat gun, especially like you can see on some of the you've got some scored detail on there that was basically invisible before I hit it with the heat gun. So the heat gun makes that EVA foam kind of swell a bit, so it's good to hit it with that to kind of accentuate some of that foam, and it also does something to the foam where it like, I'm not even sure this is the right word, but like polarizes it, like it gives it that like extra skin before painting it. So I don't know, I like how it's it kind of makes it feel like there's a part of like making a model where it's like a jumble of junk and stuff. And now I'm kind of going on a different tangent where it's a jumble of junk and different textures. But when you give it that base coat, when you give it that solid prime of like a single color, then it like it wasn't just a crazy jumble of garbage. Now it actually looks like something. And then start adding those colors, those highlights, and then when you add those dry brushing, picks up all those details. Oh boy. And then it just comes to life. I love that part. Say what you will about dry brushing. I'm a fan. I mean, it was the whole kind of before, like when I was thinking about airbrushing, I was like, I don't need an airbrush. I can do the same techniques with dry brushing. No way. I don't need an airbrush. I'm object source lighting. I could do that with dry brushing. Sure. I think you could probably get away with it. I try an airbrush for that Ice Cavern video. And, oh man, that was, it was eye-opening, because I was scared of airbrushing, because it was like, I gotta get all these like cleaners, I gotta get all these, hey Leaf, how you doing? Urus, I know your real name, James, of course, welcome. I did not expect anybody to be here, but you are all welcome as I ramble while I paint. I'm painting for an encounter on Thursday. I've got tons of minis to paint. I've got these. You don't have to do all this stuff, but gosh darn it, it's the first in-person game that we've had for months. So I want it to be perfect. I just look. Any excuse to hit the garage and just have some me time, paint this stuff. I like that too. Definitely need it in this day and age to be able to have your me time, get away. I know it's some tough times with some people in the US and all over the world with COVID, so there are different situations for different people. Luckily, here in Australia, in Melbourne, we are able to start seeing each other again, so I am very excited for an in-person game coming up. And so I've gone all out, making boats, making, what do you call it? I'm printing dredges, I'm making this terrain. It's gonna be all out. I'm gonna have the fog machine going 110%. You're not gonna be able to breathe. Thanks, Lee. I am super passionate about it, and you know what? For the first time in a long time, I haven't left my notes prep to the night before. I thought, I'm going to get ahead of this. I'm going to prep this game, and so I can focus on all the fun stuff. You know, it's just, and it's interesting because like for running a campaign for a while, it starts to write itself. Like what kind of situations might pop up, but also like I completely over prepped in the last game. I'm gonna pick and choose from those things, and then that thing I originally had planned for, because we went completely in a different direction, you know, I'm going to completely change the ending or just where this thing is going to go, because it doesn't make sense anymore. So I love it when D&D kind of like morphs and changes as you play, and it's good to not plan too far ahead. I found it's good to read, like especially if you're running a module. You know, it's good to read it to get all inspiration and stuff, but it's not how I run a game. I like to take those modules and stuff as inspiration, as kind of more of a buffet menu. Let's see how this Grave Giant has been cooking. He's been cooking here for a while. He's feeling good though. Yeah, I'll turn him over. I'm getting a little burnt umber on this guy. Oh boy, I should have washed my hands. But he's looking good. Then we got this little guy. He is all cured up. He's looking all what do you call him? Stitch Golem, that's what he's called. But I printed him super small, so he's like a little NPC. It's kind of sack boy, kind of hook thing. So he's gonna be a little cockney. Oh, you got oh, it's here in the windy holes. I don't know what's going on. This guy is looking pretty fierce. He's gonna be tossing those zombies out of his back in no time. You hang in there, little buddy. We'll get you on the game. So he's gonna join his brother. Where's his brother? Put him somewhere. He's probably in the box. No? Well, his brother's somewhere. We'll find him. He's a sneaky son of a bitch. Alright. Well, at least I don't have to have that cooking for a while. That was only a few minutes. Then we had that thing cooking for. I like this guy. I'm gonna keep this guy here. He's a little... I don't even know if I'm gonna use him in the game. I just like this guy. I think he's gonna be cool little NPC. Kind of maybe add some like comical kind of feeling to this very dour, very dry, very sorrowful feeling that is the Shadowfell. It's been tough going for the party, so maybe I will use him. I see that top layer is already kind of dried as I'm painting it. I'm gonna keep basing this in this burnt umber. So I'm gonna get my brown hands going. Ugh, gross. My son would love it. It's the same color as poo. What you want to get is when you paint your boat, you're gonna paint it in the poo color. There you go. It doesn't have the same ring as burnt umber. I'm trying to watch my brush strokes. Obviously, people what they wear gloves and stuff, so I don't. I love to get my hands messy, which is probably a bad thing because you saw I just touched the grave giant and got brown color all over him. I'm gonna put this guy down for a sec just so he dries a little bit before I do the bottom, which gives me an opportunity. Let's switch over to the other piece of terrain I got going. I'll switch over to this guy. That guy's dry enough. I could give that guy another coat of the Mod Podge mix. Let's do this. I didn't even take this guy out of the pot. He's ready to go. Look at that. He's past the tip of it. He is loaded up. Let's get this guy. Just slosh it on. Yeah, it's a little bit watered down Mod Podge with some black acrylic, thanks to Jeremy Black Magic Craft. He's got a great channel where he's been kind of taking us from the bare basics of D&D crafting or tabletop crafting, and really some interesting techniques. I don't use any of the EVA. What's the foam he uses? Oh boy, it's the... I can't remember. It's insulation foam, the pink stuff. I think you can get it from Bunnings around here, or one of the hardware stores around here, but I don't know. I haven't loved it as much as other people. It does look like a really good flexible material, but I have just got a lot of different stuff that is on hand, and I try to make use of it. I feel bad sometimes for the environment when I'm like cutting up a lot of this stuff, and a lot of the offcuts and stuff just go straight into the bin because I can't even think how you recycle it. Some of the stuff just becomes so granular and small. It's just like, it's a whole bin full of this stuff, this EVA foam, but I guess it goes straight back to the planet. I don't know. There must be ways of doing it in a recycly kind of way. Maybe you just like shred it up or something and use it as ground cover. That's not a bad idea. You could do that. You'd have to have one hell of a blender though. Alright, this is going on pretty quick. I'm just going to stipple on the top here just so you don't see any brush stroke. This is meant to be stone, so I am going to stipple on top of here because sometimes this Mod Podge just dries a little bit with that texture. There we go. Yeah. If you have just joined, I'm just painting some of this terrain that I'm preparing for a game on Thursday, and I have no plans to stream. This is just an impromptu kind of thing. If you have any questions of any of the atmospheric and techniques and stuff that I feature on the channel, or any of the lighting, or just general questions about running games and stuff, I'm by no means any kind of expert, but I love role-playing games and the situations and fun that they can create, and the creativity. So by all means, reach out in the chat. If you haven't seen my channel, it is Atmoseeker on YouTube. Look, to be honest, I don't even know if this is how streams work, but I figured I'd mention some of that stuff. There we go. Stuff's coming together. We've got camera 2. Alright, Devs and Dice, I'm guessing it's Leaf. We've got I'm not sure. Devs and Dice, is it just you at the channel, or Leaf at the channel, or is it a collection of you guys? But in answer to your question, I work as a video game animator for EA games. I just animate 3D characters. Whoa. Yeah, so, but I have done a lot of stuff in video production. I did a little bit in some advertising and software stuff. So it's, but for most part, my main passion has been animation, 3D animation, character animation, and a lot of just like art, illustration, character design. So mostly focused in video games. I worked on a lot of great shovelware in the past. Some previous, I won't mention the studios, but there was, you know what? I say shovelware, but the way to kind of get through a lot of those games in the time period that they had, it was great for to kind of get experience in a lot of different styles and platforms very quickly. Well, part of the EA family. Thanks, buddy. You're working at DICE. That is awesome. Great to hear from you, pal. Man, yeah, small world. I guess we all like doing the YouTube stuff at EA somehow. I don't know. This isn't on EA's dime or related at all. The tabletop crafting stuff, but I do get the thumbs up from some of the colleagues at work. They seem, you know what? I haven't run a work game in a while, so because we've been working from home for quite a bit, but once the office kind of opens up a bit, it'll be good to run some work games again, I think. Man, this guy is taking a lot to coat. I think I'm going a little thicker on this second coat. There we go. Yeah, basically colleagues, I think. We probably just knowing our first and last name, we would know our EA emails. There we go. This is gonna look good. This is all tied together. Slop it on. Ugh. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any water effects. I think I want to keep this as generic as possible because I might use it in other games. Stipple a little bit here. Yeah. So I'm not sure about the coloring of this thing. It is for the Fortress of Memories, so it's meant to be in this central lake. So maybe I'll go more of an obsidian black kind of thing with like maybe some grays, and you could go a little bit on the like up brush strokes on it for some like greens or something, like it's coming from below. Because from a little bit of the concept art I've seen of the Fortress of Memories, it has been kind of that obsidian black with just those hints of greens, like you have those like souls and stuff like swimming around. There we go. So like I say, you see there's like bits where it like pulls a bit. Kind of see that? I just kind of stipple that a bit just to kind of thin it out a bit. Like I want it to have a good coat on here, but I don't want to lose some of that detail that's underneath. There we go. There we go. This pizza is almost ready to go in the oven. There we go. Yeah. Alright. So I'll let this guy dry. Maybe I'll switch to a different angle in a sec so you can get a better look. It's kind of hard to tell when the paint's still wet to kind of see some of that detail, but kind of happy how this is all kind of pieced together. I mean, it's a very simple piece, but I don't know. it just looks like a big pizza from this camera angle. I don't know why I was thinking this would be better. A little bit of an angle there. So it's gonna have, get some closer. There we go. I was kind of doing it from this angle just because you get some shadow. It's a little bit hard to tell when you've got the overhead light. Let's see. You can see some of that rock texture. You know, this is kind of hard to tell. Give it justice without some dry brushing and stuff. And it's like a glossy mess. But it'll have a nice, like, gameplay purposes, I've got, well, we've got some levels here that are wide enough for minifigures to kind of step on. We've got a nice little period step up here. We can have this. I've got a little prop that I'm going to use for the little dais, the little basin. And probably enough space for these dretches to pour out when I've got the kind of fog swimming around. I'm going to have some little lights in the fog, so it has that ominous feeling. It'll be fun encounter. I think I don't know how many rounds it's going to go for. At the moment, I think I have it planned to have maybe 3 or 4 rounds. I like to keep encounters short so we can move on to things, because there's a lot to experience. I like the 5-room dungeon approach to dungeons. I know there are super dungeon people who love those large dungeon crawls where you go through these. They have a lot of working parts and stuff. I do not have a brain for that kind of thing. That, you know, that lever you pulled in like room 1 from like 6 years ago, that had this effect on this part of the cabin. I don't know if that's how they work, but not for me. I like the 5-room dungeon approach. It's good to, you know, keep it in one session or 1 or 2. I don't know. Depends how they get through those encounters. Hello, welcome, Damus TV. My other brother, Nicodem. Welcome. The brothers are strong in the stream. Okay, we are still gonna keep basing this boat. We're already at midnight. I'll probably kind of push on to about 12:30 before I wrap up. So just another half hour of painting this boat, and we'll see how we go. I think I was still going with the burnt umber. Let's see. Let's pull this out. All right. Well, so that texture's looking good. I think I could put away this guy actually before I knock it over and completely ruin everything. There we go. All right. Alright, so we're going to keep going with this burnt umber on the back. We only have a little bit extra to go. I noticed with this one, this particular paint, I can't say anything about the brand, I don't know it. But this one's from Bunnings. I found it comes out super matte. So I was very, very, very excited how matte it came out. But it generally, you need to come out with a couple of coats on this thing for it to have any kind of impression of the color. It's particularly if you based underneath it with black. So that's why sometimes it looks like I'm going on a little bit too heavy on these ones. But you know, you can always repaint stuff, especially if it comes up looking crap. So, but not me. I don't have time to repaint stuff. So that's why I'm going with all good dependable burnt umber and some aged wood techniques that I'm going to dry brush on. There we go. Is this my first stream? Yes, this is my first stream. I am streaming to Twitch and YouTube. I'm using Restreamer. I set that up with the website. With the Restreamer website, I believe that's it. And I've got 2 cameras. I'm using the Logitech Stream Cam for both views. Hopefully it's coming through. It's a nice crisp 1080p 60. Other than that, I've just got a few layouts saved in OBS, and just I wasn't expecting anyone to be here. This was just meant to be a practice of oh, maybe I'll do the stream thing. Maybe I'll paint some things and talk about things. I don't know. But look, I was going to do this anyway, so I'm very thankful that you guys have tuned in and happy to hear me mumble about my encounters that I have planned for Horda the Dragon Queen, which has gone completely off book as we're barreling right through the Shadowfell because of some magical mishaps. I love it when D&D takes some of those turns like that. Like another game I'm running, which is the Dragon of Icespire Peak, has taken some unique turns where just death and destruction has happened, sometimes just from complete character negligence. You know, often you'll foreshadow something like there is smoke off in the horizon. A winged shape flies out. What do you do? It's like, well, we're gonna long rest and maybe we'll go to the town and get some supplies and stuff. And so it's like, oh. So that, if you're not familiar, that was probably, it was preluding to the Gnomon Guard. Actually, they did Gnomon Guard already. So there's a part of the module where there is a settlement of gnomes, and they have the party had helped them with a problem that they had with a mimic that was causing a lot of trouble in the settlement. But they left there, everything was all good, but I had the villain of the story, which is this white dragon, Cryovane, cause a little bit of chaos. He, unbeknownst to the party, if you are in this campaign, put the fingers in your ears for a moment, but basically, that dragon, he is... look, there are particular ways white dragons are supposed to behave, I guess. They're meant to be a bit more bestial in nature, but this one in particular, in our story, has taken more of a liking to arcane objects and trinkets, and he's been fascinated by the Shrine of Savras that is there. He's been using that to divine where these characters are, and now he's kind of snatched up these gnomes to help relocate the shrine and create some unique magical items to help defend him with his stronghold on Icespire Peak. Yeah, so there are some things that have changed as a result of the quest, the things that the characters have done. Good to hear from you, Leaf. Take it easy, buddy. Yeah, so I like those kind of things that can happen in a campaign. It just occurred to me that you guys can't see what I'm painting because I'm painting down here. Maybe I should move the camera. Here we go. I think we've got good coverage here. That color's coming up a lot nicer than it is with my real eyes on the camera. I don't know. That is a good bird timber. Good bird timber. Good. Be as brown as you like. There you go. Yeah. Yes, we're almost done with this brown here. I am just going over a little bit, especially on these top boards, just because this is where it's going to be most visible from the game table. I want this to kind of catch the most light, so I probably will give this the most care. There is stuff underneath as well. I'll probably give it an even treatment, but the stuff at the top needs to have a good consistent color. So I'm just going to hit it with a bit more of this umber, double coat, if you will. There we go. I'm hoping to wrap up this boat tonight. Am I just slow? I know there's a lot of painters out there that do a way better job than me, and half the time. I might be just slow at this. You know what? It doesn't really matter because I'm having a great time painting this boat. Oh boy. Boat time. I should have gotten the skeleton boat. Ah, that would have been so cool. That would, yeah. So because in the game, it's actually like a boat that's made out of bones. So, but because I like to have stuff that's kind of reusable, I went with a regular boat, and I'm just for symbolisis of size and scale, and I intend to reuse this in other campaigns. There we go. Alright, we got most of that color on there. Hopefully it's going to be... yeah, you really do want that base coat to kind of dry. You start dry brushing stuff. I still think that's still coming across a bit dark. It's hard. Yeah, see, on your camera, for your peepers, that looks good to you. That looks like some good brown. And for me... oh, maybe it's just me. I don't know. I am just sitting in like darkness here, so it's you guys are getting like the even lighting. Maybe I gotta base this. Maybe I gotta like look at the screen. Oh, that looks pretty good. I don't know. Definitely gonna dry brush this thing. Get some of that aged look on it. I might have to hold off on doing the bottom of this until that top half is dry, especially these edges, because I am getting brown all over my hands as I paint this thing. Let's change this up a bit. What do we got? I can show, you know what, I think I am going to stop with the painting there. I am just going to have a look over my notes for the game. If that is interesting to you, then I don't know. But if you're curious how I write notes for a game, by all means. I still do need to set up music and sound effects for ambience. But you know what? I'm going to show you this new book that I had that came from a Kickstarter with my brown hands, apparently. Wash it off first. I don't want to get brown all over my book. There we go. There's some over here. Alright, hang on one sec. I can show a few of the tools that I've been using to prepare for this next game. They've been quite useful. Because before, when I was running Order of the Dragon Queen, I was mostly basing a lot of the prep off the module, because now it's taken a bit of a unique twist where they are. I've had to base a lot of the prep from interesting new Dungeon Master tools. Well, let's see. What have I been using lately? I can pull it up. Oh, the camera 3. I'll pull the old burnt umber boat to the side. All right. What have I been using? Where is it? Gosh darn it. Alright, here we go. So, for this session, I've been using a few tools for preparing for this game. I've got a couple of these dungeon decks that I've been using. These have been fantastic in a game, especially when because I particularly hate coming up with like loot for on the off chance that they'll look through things, and a lot of the loot that I come up with was quite boring. So what these are, these Dungeon Discoveries decks, they are basically a whole list of items, but on the cards themselves, they have, you look at, this one's the shit deck. So this is when you get like, when you find garbage, and it's like, oh, I gotta give them something. But you know what, it's fun to give them like interesting stuff. So if you look on the back here, it's got it's got like 2 sections, and you kind of use the first and the second. So you can say like, all right, pick a card at random, and I say it's a thoroughly worn butterfly pendant. So you could use those descriptive words and whatever the actual thing is. So those have been quite nice to like add flavor within the game, and it's not just, you know, another 50 gold pieces. You find an utterly illegible love letter, and it's like, oh, we gotta decipher this thing. We gotta find the secrets. We gotta work out where this letter has come from. I don't know, but they, you know, they have the possibility to lead off on that kind of stuff. As part of those decks, another thing for preparing those encounters has been this particular deck is like a voyage deck. So this has some, I think it has like locations in it. What do we got? It's more like landmarks and stuff that you'd come across as you're traveling in the wilderness. I wish they had more of these for like different locations. So this one is, it's a cold and damp woodland cottage, you know. But like if you're got those wildland forest, especially like those longer trips where you're going through those journeys and stuff, these can be quite good to pull out if you're like straining for ideas. I haven't even used these just straight at the table, just pulled it out just because it's like, all right, they're going on a journey. I want to describe the journey a bit more. I'm going to pull 3 cards, and we're going to have a few of these landmarks that kind of show up. So it could be, so you've got like some things that they can always come back on. It's like, oh, we're going to go back to that vomit-covered cast iron pot. We're going to use that on the guards at this camp and stuff. So it has made those exploration kind of things a bit more interesting. A little bit of both. I use it whilst running the game, and sometimes when prepping. So it has been good for both. Sometimes I love to just not prep and use these because it's a little bit of fun for the DM to not know what's going to happen. So I have been enjoying just a little bit of randomness as it kind of occurs. And then you've got this one, which is the Little Boy Schmick treasure. Let's see what we got. What's a good example of this? I wish they had different faces for the different decks. So like, because having this behind the screen, they're all the same backing, so it's a little bit bad there. But I do like the, what do we got? Boar blood, salt. Oh, was this boar blood salted orc sausages? That's good loot. I guess it depends who you are. Truth-telling incense. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. This is meant to be the good stuff. What do we got? Pitch black clairvoyance tea, darkness mantle, lightning mace. So yeah, this is meant to be the good loot, which I guess is more interpretable of what it does and stuff. Could be just fancy stuff that you find. But I have found these decks really good, especially if you're straining for ideas. And even if it's like, I have loved just like having these not prepared and just pulling them out mid-session, which has been great. Another tool that I use is the, what do we got here? The Rory's Story Tubes. These have been used quite a bit in, I've seen them float around a bit on other YouTube channels. What is going on with this? Hopefully you guys are liking the music. I can turn it off if it's bothering anyone. But alright, so these cubes are just like random assortment of images, and I've mostly used them for NPCs. They've been really good for just coming up with like character motivations or flaws for NPCs. So you just kind of drop them, and then you get like this almost bone die kind of thing of like what this character is. So here you can just see like, all right, he's a hunter, and he's lost, and he's looking for a doorway It only opens at night. You know, that is, you know, pretty quick to kind of come up with this stuff. I'll usually use this pre-session, like come up with a few things like that, but always like to keep it in my pocket if I do have to roll them randomly. Sometimes I'll just grab one and just you find what is it? Oh, well, that's not very helpful in my point at all, but looks like you're gonna have that conversation or something. Alright, so those cubes are good for, I use them mostly for pre-game prep. Not really so much in-game prep, but they have been quite good for like coming up with character motivations and stuff. This one is a new Kickstarter that's come out. It is, where are we? I can't remember. It's a Sam Bartlett Kickstarter that came out. I backed this a few months ago. I wasn't expecting it to show up. It came around Christmas, and I used it to kind of prep a lot for this game, which was, it is basically a book full of just giant random, let's see if I can get that exposed a little better. It is basically just a whole slew of just random tables. I particularly like the curses and stuff. Those are quite good. So they have a whole lot of like critical injuries, critical misses. You've got all these like different encounters and stuff. Names. I probably am going to use this for exclusively in session for names alone. So here we got character names, and it's just kind of got a mishmash of different names that you can use. You can just kind of mix and match. We've got it broken down into all different see, and it's got like different features and that you can just, I would probably roll this before session, just kind of getting an idea of, you could probably just roll a random half dozen of these NPCs and litter them through your town, but there are a good assortment of tables in here. I particularly like the character section because there are so many aspects of the personalities and information that these NPCs might have, you know, when you meet them. I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here, just because I'm waiting for things to dry, and you know, I've just gone through all the stuff that I'm using for my campaign that I'm going to be running on Thursday. I'm not going to be televising it. I would love to do that in the future somehow. I don't know about the logistics of that, but we'll see. We'll see how that happens. And for the moment, be sure to check out Atmoseeker on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends if you think it's something that they'd like. I think I'm mostly geared towards DMs, but, you know, players, if you want to get your DM a fog machine and say Atmoseeker sent me, go for it. Great hanging out with you, and thank you for joining me at this late hour, and I'll see you next time. See you later. Oh.